Yo YouTube, this is my video for today, which is Friday the 16th of August, and I'm going to do the video now, but I'm in the middle of a job and I'm hoping to find something else either locally to where I end up or back home tonight or even tomorrow morning. So I'm not going to do my weekly stats until tomorrow, and these stats may well not be full depending on how I get on after I deliver this load. But for the sake of getting this video done while it's still light, for the time being these are my stats. So yesterday I filled up with fuel, and I've got a new average fuel price for the week, which is 13.29 pence per mile. Today I will have driven 274 miles, 274, and I will have worked for 11 hours, assuming I do nothing else after this particular drop is done. I have earned £185 gross, 185, and I've spent £36.41 on fuel, which means that after fuel costs taken into account, I've made £149 today so far. Now, before I talk about today, I just want to mention yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday, and I did do an experiment where I tried to fit in a job before my dialysis, and it was reasonably successful, but I'm going to tell you about that first of all. So this was Thursday morning. So I got a job from Peterborough to Birmingham, taking 2 pallets, picking up at 8 o'clock, and the journey was about 2 hours, and I had time to get that done and get back to Boston by 1 o'clock. So I thought I'd give it a go. I was never going to try and get a job back because that wasn't the point. The point was, I could either not work, which is what I usually do, or do one job and get some money to add to my pot for the week. And I got for that job, I got £100 for about 80-ish miles loaded, and I was about 24 miles away from the pickup in the morning. So I arrived, actually no, I think it might be 9 o'clock pickup. I can't remember, it was 8 or 9. I think it was 9, but I think the other guy that had arrived a bit earlier than me. So it was 2 vans that were going to take this load, 2 pallets on mine, 2 pallets on his van. And interestingly, I'll tell you this, but it's because it happened, but it's not going to make me seem very with it. For the life of me, I thought yesterday was Saturday. I've got no idea why. I even wrote on my little list Saturday the 15th, my list of jobs, and I knew I had dialysis on Saturdays, and so I had it in my head. Oh, this is a really good job to get on Saturday. So I bid, pretty high. It was £1.30 a mile loaded for a long wheelbase, medium job, and I thought that's a Saturday rate, isn't it? And I got the job pretty quickly. I thought it was Saturday all the time. I was on my way to Birmingham, and the only reason why I worked out it wasn't Saturday was I was looking at the calendar, looking at tomorrow, which I thought was going to be I was trying to look at Monday, like the next working day, and I thought my calendar isn't right. Today is saying it's Thursday, but it can't be. It's Saturday, surely. And I just had completely convinced myself it was Saturday. And it took me a few moments to think, is it? Is it really? What happened to the rest of the week? So I was so discombobulated about that, and it was really weird because I was so convinced myself it was Saturday, because I was trying to focus on getting a job done in the morning before dialysis. And the other thing was, it was really quite busy, and I thought, this is amazing for a Saturday. I'm going to get loads of work to do before dialysis. And suddenly my bubble burst when I realised, oh no, it's Thursday today, isn't it?
Anyway, so I did that job, and in the end, when I got to Birmingham, we had to wait. The guy that left before me was waiting there, and we had to wait because the guys were on a break, sort of to forklift our loads off. And I had about half an hour spare before I was going to be late for my dialysis. And so I sort of left it for half an hour, and then I sort of went over and I sort of chivied them along, being as polite as possible, as grateful as possible, just explaining I had to go to a hospital appointment. And luckily, although I'm saying luckily, they did come out and offload us, but they were still quite officious about the whole thing and quite slow. And in the end, when I left the site, the other driver very kindly let me go before him, who had arrived before me, but he let me go. So I went off site first, and when I left, the Google Maps was saying I was going to arrive at Boston for my dialysis at 2 minutes past 1, and I meant to be there around about 1 o'clock. It's not completely have to be complete at that point, but that's what I had. So it was a bit of an experiment. I drove to Boston. I got there in the end at 5 past 1. So in the end, I was all hooked up by 22 minutes past 1, and it wasn't any much later than I usually am. So in the end, that worked out. If I hadn't been delayed for half an hour, I could have been in and out of Birmingham and back towards Boston easily. So I know that I can go as far as about 80 miles from Peterborough at least, and probably get back in time. So I'm going to try doing that. So that was Thursday. So while I was sitting in my dialysis bed, I did do some bids, and I got a job given to me going from Sleaford for Friday morning to Nottingham. And it was a small van job, and it was 56 loaded miles, and in the end it was the right side of Sleaford for me. It's only 20 miles away, and I've been to this place before. It's an engineering firm sort of south of Sleaford, and I was 12 miles away from it from home, and so I got £60 for that small van job. And I arrived, so I left the house at 7:30. I was meant to arrive at 8. Arrived at 8:50, and they were there. So I got the boxes unloaded, just 7 boxes. I loaded on my van this morning, and then I made my way to Nottingham. Now in the end, it wasn't really Nottingham, it was sort of north. It was more like Kirby something, Ashfield, or Ashfield, I don't know. If you know the area, there's a phrase, I can't remember, it's like a 3-word name, beginning with Kirby and Ashford. Ashford? That's not right. Oh, I don't know. You'll know where I mean. It's basically north of, about 10-12 miles north of Nottingham. So I got there and offloaded those boxes really easily, and I was ready to get my next job at 9:50. Now, this is where today has been a bit awkward for me, because I had a scan booked in at Boston Hospital for 12:40. So when I got that job, I knew I had to be quite local. I thought Nottingham was still quite local, and I knew that I had to have enough time to get from Nottingham to Boston with a bit of delay. And that journey to Nottingham to Boston was about 2 hours. So I thought, ideally, I'd love to get a job from Nottingham to the Boston area straight away. So I did spend about half an hour looking for a job, and what I did was I did save all the jobs that were in the Derby, Nottingham, Mansfield area, because I could have got to all those within about 20 minutes. And I worked out, if I hadn't been going to my scan, I'd have had 24 opportunities to bid on work, and that's pretty good going, I think. That's quite a reasonable amount of work. None of those jobs were going towards Boston, so in the end I had to just dead mile it to Boston, which I thought would be the case. And as a slight aside, I want to talk about luck. Now, I have in a previous video said that I don't believe in good luck or bad luck. It's just things happen and you assign that phrase to them. But I'm going to sort of be slightly facetious here and say I've got an example here of something that would have been good luck, and this is what I would have gone, yeah, you're right, this is lucky if this has happened to me. If I'd got a job from Nottingham going to the Pilgrim Hospital in Boston, and it was leaving straight away and arriving before my appointment,
that would have been quite lucky. But then I thought, no, better than that. I want that job to be delivering to the X-ray department, because then I can just walk in with this parcel and say, here's your parcel, sign this, and now here I am, please sign this. So if that had happened, I would have said that would be lucky. Just getting a job every so often isn't lucky. It's because people work hard and they know who to contact, and it's about resilience and hard work. And the harder you work, the luckier you get. So where are we now? So I was now in Boston and I'd done a scan. Just a quick aside, it was an MRI. I've never had an MRI before, and if you have never had one, you've probably seen them on the films and TV. It's quite it's a tube, a big machine, tube shaped. You kind of sort of slid by the machine inside it, and then it makes quite a loud knocking noise. But what you never see on the programs is people putting headphones on, and so I was given a set of headphones to wear, quite kind of the old-fashioned sort of safety headphones you get from DIY stores, and they were very comfortable and very pleasant things to have, because otherwise it would have been very difficult to have dealt with that. I can see why some people might get claustrophobic, because it's a very small tube, and it's just about 4 inches above your body in your head, so it can be, I think, feel claustrophobic. I dealt with that by just closing my eyes. The problem with that, though, is that I had my eyes closed and my headphones on, and I just felt really tired, like I am all the time. And I was almost dozing, and I was in there for about 20 minutes. By the time I came out, I felt so tired. I could have easily just gone home and gone for a little afternoon nap. But as it was, I looked for work, and at this moment in time, it would have been about 1:30-ish, 1:15. I was the only driver available actually in Boston, and I was sort of the north side of Boston, if you know the area. And often work comes out sort of the south. The industrial estates are more sort of in the centre and the south side of Boston. So I wasn't sure what to do. I thought I would stop by the road. I thought, should I stay here, or should I move back towards the centre of town? And it's really hot today, so I made a decision that I would actually go to a local pub that we use and get a drink and something to eat. I bid on a job that was going from Boston to ST14. You'll know where that is if you know the postcode. I went quite high, because it was a small van job. I went quite high, over £1 a mile, because I was the only driver there. But that job did get sold to somebody else, but it took a long time. There was another job going from PE22, which was basically north, outside of Boston, the north side. And so if I'd stayed where I was originally, I would have been quite close to that. But to be fair, that was going to London. I put a pretty high bid on that. If I'd got that, that'd have been the rest of my day dealt with, and had a really good payday. But I was unlikely to get that. I did that a couple of times. There's a couple of London jobs locally that I did bid on. Another job going from Boston to sort of Nottingham way, but I didn't get any of these. And in the end, I did get a job. It was going from. So I went to a pub. I got a drink, got some crisps, and then bid there. Had a chance to kind of sort of cool down a bit. And then I got a job going from Sleaford, which was 25. Well, actually in the end, because of traffic, it was half an hour away, and it was going from Sleaford to Bolton. I got £1 a mile for a small van rate, and that's the job that I'm doing right now. It's a 3-hour journey, and I am gonna, when I get to Bolton about 6:30, I'm gonna offload and see if there's anything tonight that I can get, either locally or heading towards sort of Birmingham or Leeds or East Midlands. I have got dialysis in the morning. Now, next thing I want to talk about. I have spent this journey like bidding, because it was about 3 o'clock when I picked up, bidding on work both for Monday and for tomorrow or tonight. And I've got a job for Monday, which is a non-CX job. Actually, it's for Sunday, but delivering on Monday. And I was trying to find a job for Monday coming back from the northwest. Now, or because I was also thinking about tomorrow, I got confused and thought Monday I had to be back before 12 o'clock. And so I was trying to do that and the job for tonight, because tonight I have to be back home tomorrow by 12 o'clock. Whereas Monday I don't have to be back home by any time. So I got a bit confused as to whether I was meant to be back or not for Monday. But in the end, I got another job on Monday, which I'll tell you about on Monday. So I'm sorted for Monday. They're quite good jobs. And I've got to now get this offloaded and then try and find a decent job for tonight, locally in the northwest, or ideally heading back towards my home either tonight or in the morning. And I do have a limitation, is I can't really leave the northwest any later than 8:30 tomorrow morning. So it might be that I don't get anything for tonight or tomorrow, which is why I'm doing this video now. But what I will do is I'll do the video summary for the week tomorrow, just to catch up in case there's any other work that I get for the week. I know for a fact it won't be a great week this week, but I had to do that scan today, which did it, and I think I had. Oh yes, the other thing I was going to say is on Tuesday, which I forgot to mention on Wednesday's video. On Tuesday, I did have my van serviced, full service, and so it's purring like a kitten at the moment. And they said the van was really in good condition, bearing in mind its age. So all I need to do now is I need to get this van cleaned, because it's quite dirty. I had a job on Wednesday that was on a very dirty site. It's still quite dirty. And I'm also going to get it valeted because I want to take pride in this van. And I'm hoping that's going to be done in the next few weeks. I think it's worth that. I think this van deserves that. It's not been cleaned for months, and it deserves a bit of TLC. So, I don't know if I told you about the job for Sibber to Bolton. It was 118 loaded miles. I got £125 for it, for a small van job. And I was actually 19 miles away from it when I was in Boston. Half an hour away. And I arrived on site at 3 o'clock. I was off site at 3:10, and I'm due to arrive at about 6:15. There's quite a lot of traffic problems on the way up tonight. Sort of the sort of going past Leeds and into Manchester, past Manchester. So I'm expecting it to be quite a tedious journey. But so far it's been okay. I've got an hour and 20 minutes left to go. So I'm saying at the moment 6:15. So I'm saying sort of 6:30 off site hopefully. It's just one small pallet to take off. So I shouldn't be there too long. Should be done by 6:30. And then let's see how it goes in terms of the get your job tonight. I'm just trying to read. Oh yeah, there we go. After that, I've done all my notes. So, thank you very much for taking your time to listen to my video again. I hope that you are all being successful. Although it is tough on the CX at the moment. I think it's partially to do with it being August and the school holidays, but it is really quite tough to get decent paying work at the moment. But anyway, I hope you are being successful, however you define that for yourselves. And I'll speak to you tomorrow, briefly, and then Monday. Farewell, friends.